It's midnight, and you're watching Nightline with me, Sabrina Zainal. The top stories.
Dalam talian.
Police, AGC and MCMC to coordinate investigation, prosecution of cybercrime cases. And 2 detained over odor pollution that shut down 4 water treatment plants. Good morning. We begin with this story. The Police Attorney General Chambers AGC and the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC will take prompt action to strengthen and coordinate all aspects of investigation and prosecution in cases of cybercrimes. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil said this decision was made at the Cabinet meeting in Putrajaya on Wednesday to curb the increasingly alarming rate of cybercrimes on social media platforms.
3 perkara yang paling membelenggu rakyat Malaysia yang menjadi masalah aspek jenayah dalam talian adalah masalah scam, masalah buli cyber dan juga jenayah seksual terhadap kanak-kanak, khususnya pedofilia. Ketiga-tiga ancaman kepada keselamatan rakyat ini adalah perkara yang kita lihat tidak boleh dibenarkan berlarutan.
Speaking at a media conference after the meeting, Fahmi said that cybercrimes can have a profound impact on victims, affecting either their mental health or other aspects of their lives. As such, the MCMC has issued a letter of instruction to several social media platforms to gather relevant feedback. Fahmi also mentioned that each of these platforms has a different level of compliance with Malaysian laws, with Meta platforms being the most compliant at 79 to 85%, while X has the lowest compliance rate at 25%. However, a major issue with Facebook is that the platform continues to be misused by cybercriminals to prey on people and steal their hard-earned savings. For the first half of 2024, Facebook recorded between 8 million and 132 million ringgit in losses due to online scams. Fahmi also revealed that he would meet with representatives from social media platforms in Singapore on Sunday to address these cybercrime issues.
In another development, Fahmi, who was also the spokesperson for the unity government, said that the cabinet had discussed the issue of a liquor company making a donation to a school during Wednesday's meeting. He added that the matter will be clarified by Education Minister Fadlina Sidek.
Jadi ada dibincangkan dan diputuskan Menteri Pendidikan akan jawab nanti. So saya minta untuk berhubung dengan pejabat Menteri Pendidikan.
Previously, Transport Minister Anthony Loke said he would bring the issue of donations and sponsorships by a liquor company to schools to the cabinet on Wednesday. It was reported that a school in Sepang, Selangor had recently organized a charity concert with a liquor company being one of the donors. The Education Ministry had said it viewed the matter seriously and is investigating the matter further. A total of 5 government agencies and 9 private companies were affected by the global IT outage on July 19th. Digital Minister Gobind Singh Dio, however, assured that all data in the government sector is secure and that there has been no data leakage.
Speaking at a media conference in Putrajaya, Gobind revealed that the government agencies affected by the IT outage are the Transport Ministry, Education Ministry, Rural and Regional Development Ministry, National Institute of Health and the Kedah Zakat Board, while the 9 private firms impacted involved the aviation, banking and healthcare sectors.
All the data in government systems are secure. Tidak ada sebarang ketirisan dan kita lihat tidak ada masalah dari sudut data.
However, Gobind said that there had been a phishing attempt during the IT outage, which the government successfully prevented. He also said that several phishing domains were created by irresponsible parties to obtain information and gain access to specific companies' data. Gobind added that he has met with representatives from Microsoft and CrowdStrike to deliver a firm message that their security measures must be strengthened. Microsoft is currently preparing a full report on the incident. He also pointed out that the IT outage was not a cyber attack, but was caused by a flaw in CrowdStrike's update software, which disrupted Microsoft's operating systems and prevented users from accessing their computer systems. The tech giant also has been asked to consider the claims submitted by Malaysian companies that suffered losses and damages as a result of the disruption.
Meanwhile, Gobind said that the government will soon announce several improvements, including legislative measures to address cyberbullying.
Setakat sekarang kita lihat ada satu kes yang dibawa di mana pihak yang berkaitan telah pun mengaku salah dan hukuman yang diturunkan itu setakat RM100 sahaja. Dan saya rasa ramai di luar sana menyatakan perasaan bahawa ianya tidak mencukupi.
Gobind added that the special committee established to tackle cyberbullying has held discussions and identified the issues involved. The committee involves the Communications Ministry, Home Ministry, Digital Ministry, and the Legal Affairs Division of the Prime Minister's Department. It was previously reported that the committee would thoroughly review Act 574 of the Penal Code to combat cyberbullying, with amendments expected to be tabled in Parliament this October. Moving on, 2 people have been detained over the odor pollution that shut down 4 water treatment plants in Selangor and caused a cut in supply to thousands of households. Confirming the detention, the Department of Environment, DOE, said they were being held to help in the investigation under the Environmental Quality Act, which provides for a mandatory prison sentence of up to 5 years and a fine of up to 10 million ringgit if convicted.
The DOE said it had conducted an investigation at a premises suspected of processing acrylic materials in the industrial area of Jalan Kampung Orang Asli, Kuang, in Rawang, after the odor pollution was detected. The inspection found that the source of the odor pollution was due to a chemical leak from a storage tank, which is a liquid product produced by the premises. The spill eventually overflowed into the neighboring premises drain, then into the main road drain, and subsequently into the Kuang River. The department added that it had issued an immediate directive to the premises operator to carry out cleaning works within the premises, the drain area, and affected streams, and for these works to be completed by a licensed contractor by Tuesday evening. Following the incident, 7 areas in the Klang Valley, namely Petaling, Klang, Shah Alam, Gombak, Kuala Lumpur, Hulu Selangor, and Kuala Selangor, experienced unscheduled water supply disruptions.
Now, the government is in the process of reviewing the Countervailing and Anti-Dumping Duties Act 1993. The amendment is expected to be tabled in Parliament in January 2025. Deputy Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Liu Chin-tong told the Dewan Negara on Wednesday that the government supports the measures to protect small and medium enterprises, SMEs, from the effects of unfair trade following the influx of cheap imported goods in large quantities, including from China, through the enforcement of trade remedies. Among the remedial measures taken are the imposition of anti-dumping duties, countervailing duties, and protective duties. Such trade remedy action is aimed at overseas manufacturers or exporters that result in harm to local industries, including SMEs in Malaysia, and the scope of its imposition includes all local industries.
Exploring Malaysia's ambitious goal to rank among the top 20 global startup ecosystems by 2030. Effective policies, international expansion challenges, and the societal impacts of Malaysia's dynamic startup scene. Money Matters with Chairman of the Malaysia Venture Capital and Private Equity Association, Eng Sai Kit, this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, has arrested and remanded a professor who is also the CEO of a higher education institution on suspicion of embezzling company funds of about 270,000 ringgit. A source from the MACC said the suspect, in his 60s, was detained at about 7 p.m. on Tuesday at the Anti-Graft Agency's headquarters after being summoned to give a statement.
The suspect was brought to the Magistrates Court in Putrajaya on Wednesday morning, where Magistrate Irza Zulaika Ruhanuddin granted a 7-day remand order until July 30th. Preliminary investigations suggest that the suspect allegedly took about 270,000 ringgit of the institution's funds for personal use, including debt payments and to buy a car. He is also believed to have instructed a staff member to prepare a letter for the payment of a salary amounting to about 12,000 ringgit per month since March 2023, despite his appointment letter as CEO only entitling him to 5% of the institution's annual profits. The agency's investigation division senior director, Hishamuddin Hashim, confirmed the arrest when contacted. The case was being investigated under the MACC Act 2009.
The investigation paper, IP, on the murder of former University Pendidikan Sultan Idris UPSI student Nur Farah Kartini Abdullah is almost completed. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan, who revealed this on Wednesday, said that the police have also completed the search for evidence in the case.
Hussein, when contacted, said that the IP will be submitted to the Deputy Public Prosecutor, DPP, for further action by this Friday. It was reported that investigators had combed several locations in Selangor and Perak for evidence linked to the case. On July 17th, the police Sub-Aquatic Forensic Investigation Unit recovered a mobile phone believed to have belonged to Nur Farah Kartini in an oil palm plantation near Kampung Sri Keledang. The same unit also discovered a handbag believed to belong to the victim in Sungai Trolak near Kampung Batu Empat, Slim River. Also found at the second location were the victim's other belongings, including a car key and purse, which are believed to be crucial evidence in the murder probe. 25-year-old Nur Farah Kartini was reported missing on July 10th before her body was found in an oil palm plantation in Kampung Sri Keledang, Hulu Selangor on July 15th. A 26-year-old policeman was arrested and is on remand to assist in the investigation conducted under Section 302 of the Penal Code.
The Pulau Pinang Port Commission, PPC, has announced its decision to dispose of the iconic car-carrying ferries promptly following the capsizing of the Pulau Kapas ferry at the Pangkalan Sultan Abdul Halim PSAH terminal in Butterworth on early Wednesday morning. The ferry, which had been docked at Pier 2, was partly capsized after it had suffered a leak, rendering it irreparable.
PPC Chairman Dato' Yeo Soon Hin said the incident occurred at about 3:26 a.m. and the PPC had taken immediate actions by adding more mooring lines and installed an oil boom to contain any potential oil spill from the ferry's engine room. He added that firefighters are on scene to monitor the situation closely. Yeo also added that the Pulau Kapas ferry, along with other iconic ferries, was leased to several companies in 2021 with plans to repurpose them for tourism, including a proposed floating restaurant. However, these plans fell through due to the lessee's non-compliance with the lease agreement, which ended in February last year. Despite receiving offers from companies interested in purchasing or renting the ferries, he said that the high costs and unsuitable placement of the ferries at PSAH had led to the decision to dispose of them. The state's iconic car-carrying ferries ceased operations on December 31st, 2020, after nearly a century of service.
Thai PM to know his fate next month. This and more from the Foreign Front when we return.
Istimewa di MHI sepanjang minggu ini.
Pempengaruh temberang licik guna populariti untuk kaut keuntungan.
Benarkah gangguan makhluk halus mampu jejaskan kesihatan mental?
Victory! Mampukah hobi e-sports menjadi kejaya?
Pemberian nama anak, ketahui garis panduan Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara.
Dan soal wang, projek rintis sistem e-invoice turut dibincangkan.
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi MHI hanya di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
On TV3 and stream on Tonton. Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
We're back with news from the Foreign Front. Thailand's top court on Wednesday said it will rule next month on a case seeking to oust Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin over his appointment of a cabinet minister with a criminal conviction. In a statement, the court has considered and found the case to be a legal matter with sufficient evidence to decide it. The case centers on Pichit Chuenban, appointed minister in a recent reshuffle who served 6 months in jail for contempt of court in 2008. Pichit, a former lawyer with close links to billionaire ex-Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, later resigned from the cabinet in a bid to protect Sreta. Sreta denied any wrongdoing, saying Pichit was thoroughly vetted and his appointment was above board. The Constitutional Court will give a verdict on the case on August 14th. Now, Taiwan closed schools and evacuated thousands from their homes on Wednesday ahead of Typhoon Jemi, which authorities said could be the strongest hit in 8 years and has already killed 1 person on the island. According to officials, the typhoon is expected to make landfall on the east coast late Wednesday, bringing gusts of up to 227 kilometers per hour near its center. Even before its arrival, the typhoon had caused torrential rain and whipped up winds across Taiwan, killing 1 person in Kaohsiung City and injuring 58 others. Due to this, officials announced that financial markets will remain closed on Thursday, with work and school suspended for a 2nd day. They added that after crossing the Taiwan Strait, the typhoon is likely to hit the southeastern Chinese province of Fujian on Thursday. Bangladesh partially restored telecommunication services on Wednesday, although internet connection remained slow and access to social media was suspended following deadly protests against government job reservations that claimed nearly 150 lives. The country has been relatively calm since Sunday when the Supreme Court ruled in favor of an appeal from Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government. The ruling directed that 93% of jobs should be open to candidates on merit. As demonstrations against the quotas subsided, the government began easing the curfew imposed last week. Protesting students have given the government a fresh 48-hour ultimatum to fulfill 4 other conditions of an 8-point list of demands. They stated that they will announce their next steps once the ultimatum ends on Thursday. Vice President Kamala Harris is narrowly beating rival Donald Trump in a national presidential poll released on Tuesday, one of the first conducted since U.S. President Joe Biden ended his re-election campaign. According to the poll, Harris holds a 2-point lead over Trump, 44% to 42%. It was conducted in the 2 days after Biden announced Sunday he was dropping out of the race and endorsing his vice president. In the previous week's poll, Harris and Trump were tied at 44%. The new surveys followed both the Republican National Convention, where Trump formally accepted the party's presidential nomination, and Biden's leaving the race. Over in Nepal, at least 18 people were killed after a small plane crashed and caught fire shortly after taking off from the country's capital, Kathmandu, on Wednesday. Authorities reported that the pilot was the sole survivor and was being treated in hospital. They said the pilot sustained injuries to his eyes and forehead, but his life was not in danger. Now, the incident occurred when the Saurya Airlines flight carrying 2 crew members and 17 technicians was going for regular maintenance to Nepal's new Pokhara airport. However, just a few minutes after departing from the Tribhuvan International Airport, the plane crashed and caught fire at around 11:15 a.m. local time. The cause of the crash was still being investigated. Following the crash, Kathmandu Airport was closed temporarily but reopened within hours. Spain duo Rodri and Morata charged by UEFA. Sports when we come back.
Tanam padi dalam pasu, tekad dan usaha pasti membuahkan hasil.
Kita sendiri yang nak tentukan kita ni biasa-biasa ke, luar biasa ke, setkan matlamat hala tuju kita fokus je.
Dia berani mencuba, dia tak buat separuh jalan lah.
Kita nak masak satu resipi istimewa dari Pulau Tioman, laksa pulau.
Saya Daniel, jangan lupa saksikan saya di Nona hanya di TV3.
Wanita hari ini.
Yana, kalau nak bahagia, kena banyak duit ke?
Tak juga. Macam-macam cara kita boleh cari bahagia.
Okey, kalau cendawan kita boleh masak apa?
Rasanya ada macam-macam menu boleh masak bila cendawan ni. Nanti kan Selasa ni.
Ambil dulu, bayar kemudian. Tak bagus tu.
Hati-hati. Takut terjerat dengan hutang.
Kolesterol tinggi dalam kalangan wanita.
Kenapa
nak tegur takut pula nanti kena marah.
Alah, tak boleh ke nak tegur pasangan sendiri untuk kebaikan bersama kan?
Semuanya di WHI TV3.
Dan stream ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
On TV3 and stream on Tonton.
We're back with sports. The Asian Football Confederation, AFC, has opened an investigation into the Football Association of Malaysia, FAM, and the Malaysian Football League, MFL, for violation of club licensing regulations. Its Secretary General, Datuk Sri Windsor John, said the probe was initiated by the AFC Club Licensing Department after some clubs were given licenses despite failing to meet the club licensing conditions.
Jika kita menyiasat dan mendapati lesen tidak diberikan mengikut peraturan yang sedia ada, maka kita boleh suspend daripada memberi lesen. Maknanya MFL atau FAM tidak boleh mengeluarkan lesen. Jadi mereka tidak boleh bermain dalam Liga Juara-Juara Asia.
Last week, the AFC warned that FAM and MFL risk losing their authority to grant national licenses to M-League clubs due to unpaid wages. The recent revelation that Kuala Lumpur City, a Super League side, received a club license for the 2024-25 M-League season, despite reportedly not paying Employees Provident Fund contributions since February 2023, prompted the AFC to take action. Violation of club licensing regulations could result in FAM and MFL losing their authority to grant national licenses to M-League clubs and could lead to no Malaysian representatives eligible to compete on the Asian stage.
Union of European Football Associations, UEFA, has charged Spain captain Alvaro Morata and midfielder Rodri on Tuesday with violating its basic rules of decent conduct after singing about a sovereignty claim on Gibraltar at the team's Euro title celebration on July 15th.
Es español, Gibraltar es español.
According to UEFA, the charges against the two players also include bringing the sport of football, and UEFA in particular, into disrepute. Morata and Rodri led thousands of fans in singing "Gibraltar is Spanish" during the celebration in Madrid last week, following the team's 2-1 victory over England in the Euro final. UEFA stated that its disciplinary body will rule on the case at a later date, with the players potentially facing suspension from Nations League games scheduled for September. The Gibraltar Soccer Federation, which previously filed a formal complaint to UEFA, welcomed the disciplinary proceedings. Gibraltar, located on the southern tip of Spain, has been a British overseas territory for over 300 years.
Workers' quarters destroyed in fire. The details after this short break.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
On TV3 and stream on Tonton. Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Istimewa di MHI sepanjang minggu ini.
Pempengaruh temberang licik guna populariti untuk kaut keuntungan.
Benarkah gangguan makhluk halus mampu jejaskan kesihatan mental?
Mampukah hobi e-sports menjadi kerjaya?
Pemberian nama anak ketahui garis panduan Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara.
Dan soal wang, projek rintis sistem e-invoice turut dibincangkan.
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi MHI hanya di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Nightline continues. The government is urged to increase its funding and incentive support to help manufacturers transform into smart factories as targeted under the new Industrial Master Plan 2030 NIMP 2030. Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers FMM President Tan Sri Sotian Lai estimated that a total of 5 billion ringgit in financial support is needed to fund the transformation at a national scale compared to about 3 billion ringgit in grants and funding currently available.
If the governments can use CGC to help as a guarantee, then we can encourage more SMEs to participate. What we want is to equip our SMEs to compete. Competition is there already. It's a reality. Because if you don't compete with the China side, we also need to compete with the ASEAN.
The additional support would enable Malaysia to achieve the goals of NIMP 2030 Mission-Based Project 21, which aims to create 3,000 smart factories by 2030 via Industry 4.0 and digital technology adoption. So, also suggested that the government provides guarantees through the Credit Guarantee Corporation Malaysia Berhad CGC to attract banks to offer lower interest rates to companies keen to modernize their manufacturing facilities. He also recommended double tax deductions for companies that adopt Industry 4.0 and digitalization such as artificial intelligence, AI, big data analytics, and autonomous robotic systems, among others.
In Kuala Lumpur, a total of 56 containers converted into foreign workers' quarters in Wang Semaju were destroyed in a fire. Wang Semaju Fire Station Chief M. Letumanan said Kuala Lumpur Fire and Rescue Department Operations Room received the distress call at 9:08 a.m. on Wednesday. A total of 21 personnel and officers were deployed to the scene. The fire involved containers converted into quarters for foreign workers as well as storage areas to store worker belongings. The fire was brought under control by 10:27 a.m. and the firemen managed to put out the fire at 12:02 p.m. A total of 56 containers were 100% burnt in the fire. No injury was reported and the cause of the fire was under investigation. Over in Terengganu, a delivery man pleaded not guilty in the Kuala Terengganu High Court on Wednesday to murdering a taxi driver. 30-year-old Hanif Muhammad Rosli made the plea before requesting a trial after the charge was read before Judge Datuk Hassan Abdul Ghani. He is accused of murdering 51-year-old Muhammad Latif Idris inside a taxi on the roadside near a clinic on the night of August 10, 2023. He is being charged under the Penal Code for murder, which provides the death sentence or imprisonment for up to 40 years. If a person is not sentenced to death, they will receive at least 12 strokes of the cane. The court set September 2nd for case mention. Nightline draws to a close this time around. Let's take a look at a U.S. Paralympic athlete who set the world record for longest handstand on a skateboard. With that, I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thank you for tuning in and be safe.